Okay, boys and girls, I've got a story for you tonight. And it's kind of a story where my brother um, came out, turned out to be my hero. We were little. I was about 4, he was probably 7. And we were out playing one day, and we were always um, getting into things, doing things, out playing, and always did it together. His name was David. And I had 4 brothers and 1 sister, but my sister was younger than I, so she didn't get out and play as much at this time than we did. In fact, she may not have even been born at this time. But my older brothers, they were older and they were out doing other things with their friends. And my brother David and I played together a lot. And out from our home, there was a great big building that we called a shed. And my daddy's tool shed was in there, but the lower part of it was kind of like an extra barn so that animals could come in. And like when our pigs were having their babies in the night, Daddy would bring them in and put them in the pens, and he and my brothers, not just one brother, but my brothers, and he would go out there and tend to them through the night and make sure their babies were safe and everything. So sometimes the horse would be put in there, or a cow, or something that Daddy needed to separate them from the other animals. But upstairs, over the part that was the barn, was a storage place, and it was also a play area for us. It had a great big double door thing that opened up in the back so that if they wanted to bring in a tractor or lift up bales of hay, not bays of hail, but bales of hay, and lift them up and store them up there, they could. And there was also other windows that were covered by chicken wire so that we could see out, and it wouldn't be so hot and stuffy up there. So my brother and I liked to play up there. Well, one summer day, we had gone around and played and done different things all day, but we decided to go up into the top of the shed and play because there were some old things stored up there, and we could play house, or we could play store, or just whatever we wanted to play. So we went up there one day and we played around, and I think we played house that day. And of course, he was probably the daddy of the house, and I was probably the mother. And we set little things around to make it look like a little home. But during this time, we were having lots of fun, but we kind of got tired after a while and decided that we would go down and go into the house and to our home and get us something to eat for a snack because it was in the middle of the day. So we went over across the room and went over to the corner where the stairs were to go down, and we got there, and there was a great big snake that had climbed up there and was coiled up. And then when it saw us, it started moving toward us. And I am terrified of snakes, and I especially was when I was a little girl. And so anyway, it was too big. We couldn't kill it. We didn't know what to do. We started screaming. We ran over to the windows and started hollering for Mother. And we screamed and screamed for her to come, but she was in the house cleaning and working and cooking and all that, and she couldn't hear us. So what were we to do? We didn't know what to do. Well, my brother, being the oldest one and being in the Cub Scouts, which he thought the Cub Scouts taught him everything he ever needed to know, I think, because we had tried out all the Cub Scout things in his book, he decided that he would go get help. So he left me up there in that shed with the snake. And the snake was coming toward me, and I was absolutely going hysterical. I was scared to death. I was screaming and crying and trying to stay away from the snake, and it was moving, but it was moving slowly, toward me. And he went over into the far corner, and my daddy had some plows because we lived on a farm, and he had a big A-frame plow that he called a harrow. That was the name of the plow or the thing, and it was in the shape of an A, and it had big long things sticking out of it like big long nails. And when the horse we didn't have a tractor, so he would the hook that up so that the horse could pull it to plow our garden, and it would dig up the dirt and everything, and it was called a harrow. So Daddy had, when he finished using it the last time, he had leaned it up against that wall, so it'd be out of the way, and so we wouldn't get on it, because if it was happened to be turned the wrong way and we stumbled and fell on it, it would hurt us really bad. So he kept it out of the way so that it wouldn't be something that we would, get on accidentally or something. So my brother decided to go over there and try to climb down. Well, when he saw that, he decided to climb down on the harrow. So he did. He climbed down on it, and he left the shed. And I was screaming and crying because I didn't know if he was going to come back because I was too scared. And in a few minutes, because I was hollering for somebody, help, help. And in a few minutes, Mother and my brother David came back, and Mother had a hoe, and she killed the snake and got it out there, and it was huge. And my brother actually had saved me that day. He saved my life. But him being a little boy, he didn't know that leaving me up there could have been dangerous. He was just trying to get help, and that's the only way he knew to get help. But anyway, he turned out to be my hero that day, because to me, he saved me. He got help, and he got Mother, and Mother took care of the problem, and we were okay. And that's a day I've never forgotten in all these years. And it's probably been, probably 63 years since that happened, or 64 years. So it's been a long time, and it never did leave my mind, because I'm still scared of snakes, and I try not to be around them at all. But that old snake really, really was a scary one. But anyway, that's a crazy story for somebody trying to go to sleep, I know. But the good thing was it turned out good, and I really didn't have to be scared anymore. So that's a crazy bedtime story, but maybe you'll enjoy it. Maybe you've seen a snake in your yard, and maybe you were a little scared. And just remember that there's always help somewhere. Somebody can help you. You just have to holler if you're scared. And so that's my adventure with being in the shed with a big old snake.